Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. Ozzy Man Reviews has been a sensation on the internet owing to his unique approach. This YouTuber is known to be aggressive, full of cuss words, and his colloquial narration to popular videos is a rage. From Olympic Games to the Game of Thrones, he has an opinion on everything from TV shows to movies, and he says it straight. Why is this Australian such a huge hit across the world? We speak to Ethan Marrell, founder Ozzy Man Reviews, to find out this answer.
So Ethan, it's very difficult to understand what you do. You know, you just make a lot of noise, you cuss a lot, and when you make a lot of money, got a lot of followers. So what do you do?
What do I do? I do cuss a lot, I do swear a lot, and it's all for the purpose of comedy. What I do is try to make people laugh, and I used to do that in the form of stand-up comedy. These days I do it in the form of online videos, so doing satire, parody, commentary videos on all kinds of topics, wildlife, sport, pop culture, Game of Thrones, do parody reviews of TV shows, and yeah.
So zone in on the area of the kind of work you do with brands.
Yeah.
So what is the kind of work you do with brands? You do a lot of work with them.
I do a lot of work at my own accord with brands. I don't always get their permission. So I basically do what I want, really. And some brands will like that and some won't. For instance, Game of Thrones and HBO, that's just something I started doing as a fan, recapping and reviewing their TV show in a comical way. So yeah, that's something I decided to do, and it comes down to whether or not a brand will like it and accept it and let it be online and a part of online communities. So brands approach me to work with them as well, and sometimes I might take on a sponsored video if I think it fits with my brand, if they're going to let me do the type of comedy I want to do, which involves a lot of swearing and foul language and cheeky behaviour. So yeah, I'll do sponsored videos from time to time if I think it fits with my comedy and my brand.
Right. You know, yesterday at your talk you spent quite a bit of quality time talking about the tone. So if you were to give advice to young people who tried to become an Aussie man, what is the advice you would give them on something like this?
So the tone and the voice. So that's what's been important for me with Ozzy Man Reviews. It's a tone and it's a voice that I think a lot of people around the world know. It's a very Australian voice. You've kind of heard it and seen it before in brands like Crocodile Dundee and Steve Irwin and these big Australian characters. So Ozzy Man Reviews is a big voice, loud, aggressive, opinionated voice. So that's a tone and a voice that works for me. For other people, I would really just recommend, and people who are interested in comedy, I really just recommend finding your own voice and whatever comes natural to you. You don't need to force it too much. Ozzy Man is a character, but he comes quite naturally. He just sits on top of who Ethan is without being too forced with it, you know. So I really recommend that anyone who's interested in performance and doing creative videos online and comedy, that they just do what feels natural for them and find their own voice.
Right.
And that might come from doing other creative works in independent filmmaking, in stand-up comedy, whatever it is. You learn something from every job that you take on. And then Ozzy Man, for me, has been a convergence of lots of different jobs and artistic pursuits over the years. You know,
Ozzy Man Reviews as a business, as an entity, has been enabled by the internet. I mean, finally you're sitting in a small little city in Australia and look at what you're doing. So do you think it's a great kind of vocation for Indians as well, young Indians? Because they could be anywhere. All they need is an internet connection and they can go boom.
Absolutely. For me, the internet has been a big part of my life. I guess it went mainstream when I was 13, 14, so I was instantly engaged with it and talking to friends on there and talking to people in other parts of the world on there as well. So I've kind of grown up with it, and young people these days are born into that world, and they've got the internet and they've got the software for video editing and they've got the technology and they've got good internet speeds as well these days too. So yeah, location is not important. Like Perth in Australia is the most isolated capital city in the world. So, but it hasn't hindered me or prevented me from doing my comedy and connecting directly with an audience. So definitely for young people in India, wherever they live, if you've got an internet connection and you're motivated and you're hardworking and you're passionate about what you want to say and what you want to do online, then yeah, you can grow a community and grow a business out of it as well.
Sure. Okay, what about brands? Can they do what Ozzy Man is doing? Could a brand do it conceivably? And if you believe brands could, what kind of brands could become an Ozzy Man?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can do it as long as you work on the technical aspects of things as well. So video editing, and you can remix and mash up whatever footage is out there. If it's Indian movies, if it's Bollywood stuff, whatever, you can take it and you can remix and mash it up. The only obstacles you're going to have, which I have as well, is whether or not someone wants to say you've infringed copyright and try and shut you up and censor you and things like that. These are the obstacles. So anyone can do it if they learn the technical skills. Yeah, any kind of video editing, they can remix and mash up footage and see how it goes. Some big brands are okay with it. As I said, the HBOs of the world fine with Game of Thrones remixes because it creates enthusiasm and passion and conversation around the TV show and the brand. So yeah, you can work with whatever brands you want. It's just a matter of if they're going to allow you or if you have to fight back against them. It's really, yeah, something like copyright is really a matter of perception, I think, these days. And some brands might not want you to use their visual content. Other brands will approach you and say, yeah, can you use our visual content? And
tell me now, what happens to Ozzy Man from here? For example, you've grown, you've got a huge community of followers, you're obviously making some money through advertising and so on. What happens next? Because now, if your graph went like this, now it sort of plateaus. You know, you don't keep going exponentially.
I think that's a question for anyone doing anything creative or anyone running a business as well, is longevity and how to keep it fresh and how to keep it engaging. So yeah, it's a concern, but I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and if I feel it gets stale, then I might find another interest or something, because Ozzy Man Reviews is very broad. What warrants a review or what I can review can be anything under that brand name. Doesn't just need to be Game of Thrones as a TV show. It can be a lot of different things. So inherent in the concept, I would hope I can keep it fresh by reviewing anything in any year, in any decade, and see how long it lasts. That's on the creative side. In terms of the business side, growing merchandising and things like that. A lot of people like the comedy, so they want Ozzy Man sayings on T-shirts, and so I'll grow online shop and grow the written side, like the blog and the website, grow that side of the business, because that's where you make money off serving advertising with Google AdSense and things like that. So the business side I'll keep growing steadily alongside the creativity as well. That's always a challenge, I think, but yeah, you got to balance them.
All the best, and hope to see you back in India soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and hope to see a growing following in India.
Yeah, thank you for following me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Cheers.
It is time for us to take a short break. When we return, we get to see the new TVC for a new product, Oreo Gold.